There is one team that almost everybody is forgetting about. One team that could completely ruin Argentina's World Cup dream. And the scary part? They're not the only one. Because as good as Argentina are, as good as Messi's story has been, winning back-to-back World Cups is one of the hardest things in sports. And right now, there are 5 teams that look ready to stop it from happening. Some of them have the best squads they've had in years. Some of them have players entering their prime. And one of them, honestly, looks unfair. So before the 2026 World Cup begins, let's talk about the 5 teams most likely to end Argentina's title defense. Coming at number 5, England. And honestly, it's hard to leave them out of a list like this. They've got Harry Kane, who's been scoring goals for fun for years now. Bukayo Saka continues to be one of England's most important players. Cole Palmer has quickly become one of the most exciting young stars in football. And then there's Jude Bellingham, who already plays like someone with much more experience than his age suggests. Add players like Declan Rice and Phil Foden into the mix. Missing is proving they can actually get the job done when the pressure is at its highest. Because every time England gets close to a major trophy, something seems to go wrong. And at this point, even England fans are probably tired of hearing, maybe next tournament. But if they can finally break that cycle, England could be a much bigger threat than people think. Coming in at number 4, Brazil. And before anybody says anything, yes, Brazil haven't won a World Cup since 2002, which is honestly crazy when you think about it. This is Brazil, the country that gave us Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Kaká, Neymar, and some of the greatest footballers the sport has ever seen. Yet somehow, every World Cup since 2002 has ended in disappointment. But Rafinha, who's playing some of the best football of his career. And then there's Endrick, the future of Brazilian football, the kid carrying the hopes of an entire nation. And suddenly Brazil starts looking very scary. But there's one player who stands above the rest, and Neymar. For years, he has been the prince of Brazilian football, the heir to the throne. 26 could be his final chance to stop being remembered as the prince and finally become the king. If ever in at number 3, Portugal. And it's crazy how much things have changed. A few World Cups ago, Portugal were never really seen as serious favorites. Dangerous? Sure. But favorites? Not really. Fast forward to today, and every World Cup conversation somehow includes Portugal. And honestly, it's easy to see why. Just look at that midfield. Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Vitinha, João Neves. That's a midfield most countries would love to have. This isn't a team built around one superstar anymore. This is a complete squad. But of course, there is one player everyone looks at. Cristiano Ronaldo, the captain, the leader, and potentially heading into his final World Cup. Because if Portugal manages to lift the trophy in 2026, it wouldn't just be the biggest moment in Portuguese football history. It would complete one of the greatest football stories ever told. And that's exactly why Portugal comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, Spain. And honestly, looking at this squad feels like somebody forgot to turn financial fair play on. Need a goalkeeper? They've got Joan Garcia. Need defenders? Cucurella and Cubarsi have got that covered. Need midfielders? That's where things get ridiculous. Fabian Ruiz, Gavi, Pedri, Rodri. At some point, it stops looking like a midfield and starts looking like a FIFA career mode save. Then you get to the attack. Nico Williams, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres. And then Lamine Yamal, a player who is somehow young enough to make defenders feel old. The scary thing isn't how good Spain's attack is, or how good their midfield is, or how good their defense is. It's the fact that they don't really seem to have a weakness. And that's exactly what makes Spain so dangerous, because when a team has stars everywhere, the World Cup stops becoming a dream and starts becoming an expectation. And finally, number 1, France. And honestly, this is the one team every country should be scared of, because this squad is ridiculous. Not just the starting 11, the entire squad. Ryan Cherky, Marcus Thuram, Bradley Barcola, Ibrahima Konate. And that's before we even get to the starters. Jules Koundé, William Saliba, Aurélien Tchouameni, N'Golo Kanté. Every position is stacked. Then you get to the attack, and somehow things become even more unfair. Désiré Doué, Ousmane Dembélé, Michael Olise. coming off an incredible season and looking better every time he steps onto the pitch. At this man built an all-star team. And then there's Kylian Mbappé, the player every defender is terrified of facing. 2022 World Cup final. France looked finished. The trophy looked gone. The match looked over. And then Mbappé basically decided it wasn't. One goal, then another, then a hat trick, almost dragging France to one of the greatest comebacks in World Cup history. That's what makes France so scary. They have the squad. They have the depth. And yes, Argentina didn't make it, which means I've probably just made an entire country angry. Argentina fans, don't kill me. Just tell me where they should have ranked instead. And if your team didn't make the list, feel free to defend them in the comments, because something tells me this debate isn't ending anytime soon.